Joining me via phone this morning is a guy that I've gotten to know a little bit over the last year, and to me, he's one of the good guys in politics. And that's tough for me to say because I am a jaded journalist, and yet this guy really has impressed me because just being down to earth, he still works his other job, sometimes on the weekends. So it's kind of nice to see someone do that. Of course, I'm talking about Lieutenant Governor Mark Darr of the great state of Arkansas. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate that. And just to let you know, I'm actually going to be working my other job today.
Is that right?
That's right. I do them both. But we have a small restaurant, and so I'm going to be doing a delivery today.
That's got to surprise somebody to get that delivery, I would think. Here's the Lieutenant Governor of Arkansas delivering a pizza or a sandwich to me. That's pretty impressive.
There's a good thing and a bad thing about being lieutenant governor. The good thing is no one really knows who you are, and the bad thing is no one really knows who you are.
There you go.
To be honest with you, it's just it's an awesome responsibility and opportunity. But I am who I am, and to me, that business is just as important, and I make sure I run it, just before I ran.
Well, speaking of that, we've talked about this many times on this program, how you basically being pretty much a political newcomer to the scene, you were able to win that position. You've been in office now for, I guess, a year. What have you seen that surprised you the most about doing the job of lieutenant governor?
Well, to be honest with you, the thing that really surprised me the most, when in the political campaign, and I'm not sure if I've said this to you before, but during the campaign, and we see it even in the presidential campaign, you really beat up on your opponents, and whether that's on the same side or on the different side. And when I got to Little Rock, to be honest with you, we got along pretty well, even if it was on the opposite side. Now, of course, there are those issues that we disagree with, and a lot of that is like setting up the healthcare exchanges in Arkansas and some different things. But for the most part, we actually get along very well and try and work together.
Well, first of all, let's talk about what the legislature has accomplished in the state of Arkansas, things that you're most proud of.
Well, the thing I'm most proud of is the online checkbook. That's something that I campaigned on, and what I mean by that is just a transparency for our state to where our taxpayers can see where the money's being spent. And I believe that I'm the only lieutenant governor that has ran with an agenda as far as passing legislation and got it passed without taking it to the people. Former Lieutenant Governor Bill Halter took the lottery to the people, and of course they had to sign petitions, and eventually that was on the ballot and it passed. But this was passed in the legislature with a huge bipartisan effort, and so July 1, 2012. People of Arkansas are going to see where their money's being spent. And that's the thing I'm most proud about. The other thing is, or some other things that our Republican legislature, even though we're in the minority, we fought for $35 million worth of tax decreases. And, I believe the governor wanted to give 15, and so they got 35. And that was a huge win for us. This was a first stop that a minority party really has ever had in Arkansas. And I think if you went for a third, I think you would have to say that the same minority blocked the implementation of Obamacare in Arkansas. And so that's something that I'm very proud of. And I think going forward, it just kind of shows you that Arkansas is moving more in a conservative trend.
Yeah, speaking of going forward, what are some of the biggest challenges Arkansas faces coming to the next session?
Well, it's always money, but I think that, we see now the fiscal session that's about to start is going to be probably a fairly quick session of just approving budgets. Mm-hmm. But our next session, which is January of 2013, some of the biggest challenges really is we're going to have a Democrat governor, but I truly believe that we're going to have a Republican House, and I think that we're going to have a Republican Senate. So that's going to be the first time in history that I think that will happen. So that will be a challenge to see how that will work out. And then the challenges will be, do we we address capital gains, and do we finally get that tax cut in Arkansas that we so desperately need, and some other measures in Arkansas as far as exploring our energy resources and basically not be a hindrance to business.
Yeah. Well, you talked about the governor's position. Have you made any kind of inroads toward that? Have you made any decisions concerning that race?
Really right now in the off season, no, I haven't, just to be honest with you, 100%. My thing is I really want to work towards the Republican majority in our House and our Senate. And I think that will lay the groundwork to be able to run for governor. But I'm not egotistical enough yet to tell people that it just has to be me.
Sure.
So I am setting myself up to where if I want to run and the people in the Republican Party would like for me to run, then I want to be able to do so. And but I truly want the Republican to win, whether that's me or somebody else.
Now, on another subject, I know it's a passion of yours, the Arkansas Razorbacks. What kind of shot they have coming up?
Well, I think they got a great shot. I mean, when you look at our two losses that we had, I mean, they were the teams that both of them will be competing in the national championship. Now, it just shows you the power of the SEC. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm a Razorback fan through and through. But somehow I wish Alabama and LSU could both lose. I don't know that that's possible, but I think as far as us in the Cotton Bowl, I think that's a great bowl for us. The people of Arkansas love that because it's really close to home. And of course it's in a beautiful stadium there in Arlington. And I think we got a great chance of winning that. And, but Kansas State's a good team too. We'll just kind of see how that plays out.
Sure. Very quickly before I let you go, have you guys done anything with the occupiers there in Little Rock?
Well, I actually did. I went down there and I wrote an article about the Occupy movement, and of course they called me out on it, said that basically they disagreed, but they did so in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
And I went down to their little campsite down there in Little Rock and personally spoke to them, and I think it's great that we can speak out our mind in America, but the problem that I saw, other than it being a mess down there, is that everybody was there for a different reason.
Yeah.
And so I mean, they don't even really know why they're there.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the main issue.
Yeah. Lieutenant Governor Mark Darr, thank you, sir, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for having me on.